Unsolicited advice.
What you whispering for? Yo, what's unsolicited advice? Take it or leave it. So, last episode I was talking about how, it's 2025 and we gotta start doing things just a little bit better. Especially when it comes to our resolutions. Sticking with them, making sure that, we stick with them all the way to the end. Another thing that I wanted to touch on that we're about to go into is, we got tax season. People want to go on vacation soon. For those of you that got kids in school, you got graduations coming up, prom coming up. Some of them are just now playing basketball. Some of them probably going to start playing baseball and soccer. And, you got all these other things. Some of them probably going to be doing plays or, just a lot of school function type things. And, there's a lot of stuff that goes on. And one of the things that I noticed, especially nowadays, you have a lot more single parents. And even the ones that have both of their parents in their lives, you're still kind of struggling in a way to make ends meet because, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, and you're just trying to make magic happen pretty much. But I still think that there's a way that we can do what I like to call smart spending. Cut back on a little bit of things. And a lot of times it comes down to us being too extravagant with our money, wanting the best of everything when sometimes it's all about simplicity, simplifying stuff so you can maximize things for later. But the key word that you're probably going to keep hearing is patience. Patience is the key. You got to be patient. You can't be in a rush to live some type of fabulous life that you can't afford. So I'm going to try to teach y'all how to live below your means, but still get everything accomplished and still have time and the finances to do some of the things that you still want to do. So, like I said, it's, we're going to break it down and I'm going to show you how to just, live a little bit better. The first thing that we have to do, and this is probably for most of you millennials, and some of you guys, some of you ladies too, but just overall, you gotta learn how to cook. Sometimes saving money means staying at home and cooking a meal. You eat a lot cheaper when you learn how to cook and you learn how to make your meals. You can make a meal that'll last for at least 3 or 4 days. Like spaghetti, sometimes a casserole, some baked chicken and rice. Just some, things that are hardy and fulfilling, but you can still have for like a couple of days. Now, of course, you got people out there that are kind of stubborn because they want something different every day. They can't stand to eat the same thing every day. But that's why you got to knuckle down and really do what you need to do to make sure that you're smart spending. And the main thing is that, okay, even if you're making spaghetti, you're tired of it or you got heartburn by the third day because, so much, there's so much acid in tomatoes or whatever. That's cool. But you also have to understand that there's a goal that you're trying to achieve. And a lot of y'all, of course, if you have kids, you already know what that's about. Some of y'all can do that. You know how to grind it out. You make the kids do it and sometimes you have to do it. But yeah, learn how to cook. That's one of the biggest killers of your pocket is, buying like DoorDash. That killed us in the pandemic. We were DoorDashing every day and we're still doing it now. I think some people are kind of pushing back on it because the fees have gotten a little ridiculous and stuff is just expensive. You sit there, you try to buy a Big Mac meal, you done spent $30 just to have it sent to your house. A regular old Big Mac meal that'll probably cost you about $10 or $11 if you go there. So, just buy your groceries, learn how to cook. I mean, that's what YouTube is for. You can go on YouTube. I'm sure some of y'all got family members or friends. You can learn how to cook if you want. And even nowadays, you can go to the frozen section now and they already have stuff pre-made. You can go to the deli and buy you like a 10 piece of a fried chicken or baked chicken for like $7.99, $9.99, like a 10-piece. You know, and then you can just make the fixings if all you know how to do is, you know, heat up some mashed potatoes or mac and cheese or something. There's ways. There's ways you can do it. Another thing you have to do is buy food and supplies in bulk. So like your oatmeal, your spices, your dried fruits, peanut butter, milk, orange juice, toilet paper, paper towels, shampoo, and most of your cleaning supplies. Buy those in bulk. Use most of your money to get that stuff in bulk. That way, when your paycheck comes back around, you already got that stuff locked. So all you need to do is focus on buying some more groceries. You know, you can go ahead and knock out the cleaning supplies and the stuff that you need to, you know, to clean your body and you know, maintain the house and all that stuff. Another thing that I learned is, and I learned watching my mom and other people, use your freezer. You know, when you get home from grocery shopping and you got that big old frozen pack of chicken or pork chops or steak or whatever, get you those Ziploc bags, you know, throw them in the Ziploc, you know, separate that stuff. That way you can go ahead and, you know, plan out your meal for the week. You know, especially if you're going to cook in either a large quantity or a small quantity. Some days you might just want a portion. And see, this will help the ones that want to eat something different every day. If you go ahead and put it in a portion, you know, a proportionate size, say, okay, I'm just going to put 2 drumsticks in this Ziploc bag and put 5 in the next. You know, I just want some chicken today, and then tomorrow I can, you know, cook me a burger or whatever real quick. But learn to use your freezer. You know, learn to separate your meats and put them in, you know, and put them in bags and zip them up, you know, in proportion. You know, and because like I said, the way I grew up, you know, there's nothing wrong with leftovers. Stop acting like there's something wrong with leftovers. There's nothing wrong with leftovers. Another thing that we have to stop doing, and I know it's hard for you nurses out there, because you're already working 12 shifts and stuff, and you know, that's sitting down all day typing on the computer, or you're working at the, you know, the intake desk or whatever. But we got to avoid buying stuff during lunchtime. Buying food during lunchtime is the biggest killer. That's where all that weight comes from. You know, you look up, or you know, a month later you done gained 20 pounds and you don't know why. You know, that's because, you know, you ordering, you know, a pizza every day, or you getting something from the Mexican restaurant, or chicken salad chick, or Bojangles, or wherever. You spending all this money every day during lunchtime. And you got to think about it. You're eating at lunch like it's dinner time, like you buying a bulk of food just to go home and cook for your kids, or go home and cook another, you know, eat another dinner. You know, we have to be careful about how we eat. You know, there's nothing wrong with having like a little coffee in the morning, and maybe like a breakfast bar, or one of those granola bar things that are healthy for you. You know, something small. And then lunchtime, you know, just a little snack, like one little sandwich or a salad, you know, or some fruit, you know, just something to get you by. Popcorn, just something, you know, something just to give you that little, you know, and then you can, you know, I don't really drink energy drinks. Some people do, but you can get you like a little pick-me-up, maybe a little soda, a little, whatever helps get you going, you know. Or, you know, you can get you some Slim Jims or some type of protein, peanut butter, something small. But you should only eat a big hearty meal during dinner time. But we'll get into that in just a minute. This next part, so some of y'all are a little too bougie and too fancy now. Y'all done gotten to where y'all forget where you came from. And you only, you know, your fingers will only touch nothing but the best. We got to learn to start buying generic. The trick that they try to trick you into is thinking that you have to buy the name brand. The name brand is definitely going to be better for you. That's not true. Trust me. Most of this stuff all comes from the same farms. Branding is the only thing that's the difference, because that's where the money comes from. If your brand is a top-notch brand that everybody's buying, then you can charge more. But if you're great value, or I forget the one at Whole Foods, or I forgot the one that Publix does, but everybody has their own little side brand. They're just as good. And the trick is your seasoning, you know. Doesn't matter what somebody gives you. If you know how to cook, you know how to make it taste like something. So it doesn't matter what type that you get, you know, and kids don't care. How many of y'all then took a box of cereal and refilled it with them big old bags you get from Walmart? You know, it's the same stuff. Kids don't damn care. You know, unless you got one of those kids that are on the spectrum, they know. When it comes to them, you might want to stick to what you're doing because they know. You know, they'll sit there and they'll, if the chicken, you know, you go to McDonald's and if that chicken nugget ain't right, or you try to, you know, do something slick and take them to Wendy's to get their nuggets, no. So yeah, with certain things, I get it, you know, because kids are very particular. Doesn't matter what you do or how you do it, they want what they want. But you get what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with buying generic. Oh. Ooh. So, another thing, when we're ordering food or ordering out or ordering to have it delivered to our house, so it's cheaper to order vegetarian. So that's one thing that a lot of times people don't notice. You know, if you order vegetarian, it's cheaper if you're going to get it delivered to you and stuff like that. You should check that out. I was looking at that one time, like I was especially on DoorDash and just looking at a menu one time, I noticed that the vegetarian stuff is cheaper. You know, it's kind of like how when you go to a Mexican restaurant, stuff is pretty cheap because the vegetarian stuff, everything is like, you know, beans, rice, tomatoes, you know, it's your vegetables. So they're not going to overcharge for that. You're usually paying for like the meat. You know, the meat is usually what you're paying the most money for. So if you order vegetarian and you already have your meat at home, that's another way to cut on your budget. You can just get your sides, you know, vegetarian sides, and add it to the meat you already got home. Another way that we can do smart saving, and this one is going to take some time, but start kicking some of your habits. So any type of drugs, alcohol, sugars, like junk food, stuff that you absolutely got to have every day. You don't realize how much that dips into your pockets. It takes a toll. And I know some of y'all like to vape, some of y'all like to smoke, you know, or whatnot. Some of y'all like to drink. But if you think about how much money you spend on your vices, how much money you actually spend on your vices, you can take that amount of money and help with your budget. And I know that's easier said than done because you got to have what you got to have. Some of y'all got to have your sodas or your teas or your coffee. Some of y'all got to have your sandwiches or your salads every day or whatever it may be. But the one thing that I noticed is that once you kick a habit or you're learning to kick the habit little by little, if you look at your start looking at your bank statements and your budget, you'll start seeing that there's money there. There's money there that you've just been wasting. Another thing we can do is we can start making our own coffee. Some of us have gotten away with that. We kind of gotten to where we'll only touch Starbucks or what's the other one, Scooters down the street, or there's another one by the ballpark. But mostly like Starbucks, you know, like I said, we've gotten way too bougie where we you know, it's almost like garments. We won't let certain things touch us. We won't eat or drink certain things, you know, we done gotten a little too bougie. It's stupid. But learn to make your own coffee. You can make some coffee at home. Y'all got them big ass Stanley cups or whatever, or you can get you a little mug, pour it in there. It's just as cheap. It's just as cheap. Go find your brand and, you know, make your own coffee. Look at how much money that they charge you just for, you know, the cup of coffee that you want, whether it's the big ass one, I don't know, what is it, venti or whatever size it is. You know, even if you want a small one, the amount of money, unless you get it from like McDonald's. McDonald's is pretty cheap and theirs is pretty strong and good. If you get it at the right time, or, you know, the right McDonald's is just as good. But yeah, you know, that's one thing that we have to do. Another thing that's cheap, and I've done this as well, is adding another roommate. So for y'all empty nesters out there, people that are starting to transition your child to college or to living their own lives, I recommend that you start renting out your rooms. That's one way to help save money. It's one way for somebody else to help pay on the bills. Just, of course, you want to do your due diligence. If any of y'all have seen that show Worst Roommate Ever on Netflix, you know why you do your due diligence, and check, a license, go do a background check, all that good stuff, make sure these people ain't psychopaths or whatever, but just add another roommate. Be careful about family members or best friends and stuff, because not everybody is solid. You need somebody that's going to give you your money when they're supposed to give you your money. If you go Airbnb it, just make sure everything is legit. Make sure you got your cameras up so you know if somebody's stealing or whatnot. But there's nothing wrong with adding a roommate. Think about it. Think about if they pay half of the rent. Let's say your rent is $1,200 a month and they pay $600 of it. That's $600 that goes back into your pocket. Or let's say not only do they pay $600, but you add on some bills that they have to help pay on. Like, let's say the power bill, because they're going to be sharing the power, and your power bill, let's say is, I don't know, $150, $200. Let's say it's $200. That's $200 going to, so that's $800 that's going back into your pocket. Think about that. You want to go on these trips, you got stuff you got to do, you got kids, you got all these things you want to do. There's nothing wrong with adding a roommate as long as you've done your due diligence with them and you know that they can be in your house and you feel safe around them. House temperature. That's another way to smart save. That's another way we've gotten real bougie. Any of y'all that grew up in the 80s or the 70s or whatnot, y'all know. If you come in the house and they got it hot, you don't touch the temperature. Some people, you go to their house and it's freezing cold. It's the middle of the winter. But there's a reason, there's a method to it. Anybody that has to deal with the power bill, you learn. You go look it up online. You learn where to set your dial so your bill stays the way it's supposed to stay. Another thing that helps sometimes is turning it off when you leave. Now for some of y'all that's got the automated stuff and you can do it from your job or whatever, as soon as you get in the car, you can go ahead and press a button, and by the time you get home, the house is nice and toasty. That's great. That's wonderful. Good for you. But, for us broke people, be mindful of the house temperature, especially this time of year in summertime. You know how it goes. This time of year when it's real cold and you try to turn that heat on, those prices go up, unless y'all, I know some of y'all have that thing where you pay a set price no matter what. But just make sure you're paying attention to the temperature gauge. I think it's 55 to 60 degrees at night. I think that's what it is. They say get it down to 55. So I forget what it is. But we both know that you have you freezing. But look it up though. It's good to make sure that you have your temperature regulated, so it cuts the cost on your bill monthly. So I was talking to somebody the other day, and they was putting me on some game. But a lot of y'all, some of y'all are already doing, especially your ones that go on Amazon every day or order something. But comparison shopping, comparing prices and shopping online is a good way to save money. So there's nothing wrong with having stuff delivered ahead of time. If you can find a better deal, go ahead and order that. That way you have it delivered. You already got it at your house ready to go. But compare. If they're charging you this much for a certain amount of groceries, go online and see if somebody delivers groceries to your house and it's cheaper. Clothing, supplies, whatever it is. If you can find a cheaper deal, go for that. Me personally, I go to so many different places just to get certain things. I don't, and I'll get up early in the morning if I have to, and I'll go and do that. I'll go to Dollar General for certain things. I'll go to the Dollar Tree for simple things. I'll go to Walmart. I'll go to Sam's. I'll go to Kroger's. Wherever I know the better deal is, I'm going to go ahead and get up and go do what I have to do. But compare it. Before you go do anything, make a list and compare and go to those places. Don't be afraid. You're just going to have to drive. It's going to take a minute, but it'll be worth it, saving. This one is one that that's personal to me, and I had to learn because I wasn't paying attention. But the streaming apps, we have to learn to cut off some of the streaming apps. They're starting to get us real good. You know, it's pretty much like paying a cable bill, because you already are getting Wi-Fi and internet service from cable companies or whatever. Some of y'all are probably going through AT&T or other places, but it's good to monitor how many streaming apps that you have, whether it's HBO Max or Disney Plus. Some of them have bundles that you can do where you can where you can bundle. You can like I think Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus. I forget, but some of them have like bundles where they're all in one. But just compare. Just like I said, the same thing. Just compare and make sure that you're watching it, because the prices will go up and you won't even pay it no mind. They'll probably send you like an email and you just delete it because you think it's trash. But I'm telling you, it'll go from $9.99 to $16.99 the next month. So just be watching how much your streaming apps cost, because some of them you just don't need, especially if you ain't watching it. You know, and for y'all that's you know, deep in the trenches right now grinding and you can't afford certain things, yeah, Tubi. You got Tubi and stuff like Tubi and YouTube. If you know, you know. You find something. You can find something, you know, on one of those. They're free and it's cheap, you know. So I'm big on going out once a month. I know nowadays everybody wants to go out at least once a week. You know, some people don't feel special unless you take them out once a week, you know, if not more. But if you're in the business of trying to save money, just plan to go out once a month. Like find somewhere you want to, you know, plan it out, find what you want to do and save. You know, whether it's the end of the month, the beginning of the month, middle of the month, but plan it and go out once a month. You know, that way it's a fun experience. It's something you can think, you know, until you get to where you have money to go out more than once a month. But there's nothing wrong with being patient, being a homebody, you know, picking your spots. It's not always about getting out there and just wilding out and going here, there, and everywhere just to say you did something. It's smarter to plan it out, you know, and be patient, you know, and enjoy things, simplify it. You know, and there's some cheap things that you can do, and I know some people don't care for that. They like to be wined and dined, and you know, whatever you feel is what you feel. But if you want to be smart about it, once a month is pretty good. Once a month, plan it out, and it helps you save money. But you know, that's me. You know, I know everybody ain't the same, but that's just me. But, you know, you could, with that being said, another thing you can do if you got like homegirls or homeboys, or you do couples dating or whatever, you know, sponsor a game night. You know, y'all get together, everybody put money in the pot, and whoever's good at, you know, budgeting and bargaining, they can go and get the supplies, and you can do like a board game, video games, card games, whatever y'all into, or fun little TikTok games that you done found. And, you know, whoever house it is this week to go and do that. That's another way to have fun and not to spend a whole lot of money, you know, and you're already budgeting. So if you're good at cooking, you can cook something and bring it to the party, you know, but get with your people and have y'all's own party. You know, if you don't have the money to go out, there's nothing wrong with getting together and planning y'all's own little party, or hell, just, you know, coming over to watch a movie. Whoever got all those streaming apps, let's go to their house and watch some of these movies that's out, you know, and have a movie night. Another thing you can do as far as smart spending, and I'm kind of saying this for the fellas, you know, buy less expensive gifts. You know, plan those big extravagant gifts on special days. I know if you go to like Publix or Kroger, certain places, you know, you can buy, you know, some nice flowers for about $16 to $20. That's, you know, that's not expensive. You know, that's something that you can do weekly. You know, make sure they have fresh flowers. buy their favorite, buy their favorite little meal. Like if they have a favorite little fast food spot, or, maybe they like going to the deli and getting certain things, a sweet treat. Small clothing items, Bath and Body Works, little things. Maybe the refill on the makeup. Maybe buy a pack of hair. But just keep tabs on the things that she likes and what they're called, the name brands. Ask questions, and keep it on your phone. Keep the tab of what it is, what type of item it is, what she likes, and you can get stuff little by little. Every little bit helps. The hair and nails. There's nothing wrong with getting the hair or the nails and the feet done. I forget how much the stuff costs now. But little gifts. You don't have to go and buy the expensive bag or do all these expensive trips and expensive shoes and stuff all the time. There's little things that you can do that'll still make her feel special. Another thing that you have to avoid, and it's old as time, is avoiding credit cards. Don't do credit cards. There's no reason to do credit cards at all. It's nice to have. Just keep them in your pocket. If you're going to do it, make sure it's like a rainy day. Like get yourself, like a get out of jail card, or I don't know, something's going on with your kids and you got to go bail them out at college because they done ate up all their food or something. I don't know, but avoid credit cards. That's something that they've trained you to think that you need to have. You don't necessarily need to have credit cards. There's other things you can do now. There's so many different ways that you can get money now and still have time to pay it back. But that was a pretty good bit. But those are just some things that you can do to smart save this year. But the main thing is just being patient. You don't have to live a fantasy life all the time. If you got it, you got it. Enjoy it if you got it. But if you don't and you're trying to get to it, be patient. You ain't got to impress nobody. Fuck them. That's what I say. Fuck them. Because they don't pay your bills. They don't help you take care of your kids. They don't check in on you like that. They don't make sure you good. So why do you care about what, how much money you got in the bank? Why do you care what people think? Save your money for when it's time for you to level up and do the things that you want to do. But it's going to take time. And now is the perfect time. Christmas is over with. If you do it smart right now, by the time Easter comes and prom and the summertime comes and it's time to go on vacation, you'll have the money that you need. You'll have it. Everything will be there. Last thing to make sure you see me when I say this. Put that tax money in the bank. Do not spend it on anything. Put it in the bank and put it in your savings where nobody can touch it. But that's just my unsolicited advice. Take it or leave it.